guys, so while I'm in Whitby with Maizy, I figured we would do a fun little video talking about our worst slash weirdest modelling experience since we kind of shared it and went through it together. I'd been wanting to do this video like since last week when it happened, but I figured, you know, I should also have Maizy and introduce you to Maizy because she's lovely.
Hello, I'm Maizy.
So
we have wine for this, by the way, because this story merits drinking.
yeah, it's really bad. So last week we had a photo shoot and thank fuck we didn't do it for free, we got paid. Don't want to go into too much detail about the shoot and stuff because like reasons and
Yeah, reasons.
for the purposes of anonymity to all parties involved, yeah, we're not going to talk too much about
Basically,
that.
we don't want to get into shit.
Yeah, but it was bad, like properly the weirdest experience I've ever had. So like, we got to the studio about, well, I got there about like 8:30 in the morning.
I was like
Got
10 minutes
ready.
later.
And the shoot started at like 9 until 10. It was only for an hour, thank fuck. It was only an hour, but it was an hour of hell. So we I was in the middle of getting changed, and there was a bunch of other people there, so the door to the changing room was like partially open. And usually it's cool because like everyone knows each other and it's fine. And this creepy ass looking guy walks by and looks in, and he gave me like really serious creepy man vibes.
Same here. I was just like, I swear to God, if that's the photographer that's came for us.
I was like, oh please no, but he was the only person there that I didn't know at like 9 in the morning, so
Yeah, we should have known at that point to like prepare ourselves.
yeah, it was so bad. So we got ready and we went to go introduce ourselves. The studio we were working at it had 3 rooms open. The main studio, which is just like a basic ass studio with the different coloured backgrounds and stuff, and it's really cool. Then there's we had the boudoir room open, which was like a bed.
Oh,
and,
are
like,
we really going to explain this third room?
Yes, yeah.
Ooh.
Boudoir had like a bed and like a dressing table and for like nice kind of lingerie type
Elegance.
stuff. It's really nice. And then the last room they had open was the fetish room, and in the fetish room they had like all sorts of kind of fetishy accessories. They had like a mistress chair.
Oh, there's like a face-sitting device as well.
There was a face sitting device.
He thought it was a stool. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
We'll get there. I'm just gonna drink.
And there's a bed that's kind of not really a bed, it's more of kind of like a bondage apparatus with a cage on the bottom. It's really cool.
My kind of furnishings.
Yeah, and they've got like a cross to be like suspended on and stuff. It's a pretty awesome room.
It's quite intimidating if you've never been in anything like that, but it's like home for us now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've shot in there a bunch of times. So he booked this room, and we were like, okay. And the like pre-shoot communications, we were like, okay, well we just bring, you know, like lingerie kind of fetishy type corsets and stuff. And he was like, yeah, sure. I like these photos that like had been recently shot of both of us. Can you bring that outfit?
Yeah, it's such a faux pas. Like, if you've just shot in an outfit, like 2 weeks prior to that, you're not going to shoot in the same outfit again.
No.
But he had asked for it, and we thought, right, he's paying us, we want to be professional, so reluctantly we kind of agreed to it.
And looking on his page beforehand, he kind of did like glamour photography. And it didn't look as cheap as some of the glamour stuff that I've seen, but it was kind of middle of the road glamour. It didn't look completely
We're
horrible.
not glamour girls,
No.
guys. Jesus.
No. So we got into this room, and I think I was wearing like a bra corset and like stockings and stuff. You know, like standard stuff like that. I think you were wearing something kind of similar.
Yeah, it was just corset, bra, stockings.
Kind of all black, and he wasn't really too keen on it, and he was like, do you have any nice dresses?
He was asking for pretty dresses in a sex dungeon.
And we were like, yeah. So he did a couple of shots, wearing the underwear and stuff. And the weird thing was he'd get us to pose, and then he'd take one picture and then make us change completely.
Yeah, so it wasn't gonna be like click, click, click. Like it was just like
Yeah. Sit like this, click. Okay, now I want you to like turn and do like this, click. And it was really weird and disjointed, and I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of model I quite like just flowing through maybe 4 or 5 images.
I'm the same.
Because at least one of them my face will look really good in, so if I like move my face around, I'll have at least one where my hair and my face and kind of everything here is behaving.
This guy just didn't get it.
No, so half the pictures I look really awkward.
So I reckon he took about 3 or 4 photos of us in our lingerie, and then he was like, have you guys got any pretty dresses? And we're looking around, there's like PVC and leather and whips and strange cock and ball torture devices and face sitting bits and bobs, and we're just like, yeah, I guess he's the client, he's paying, I guess we'll go do it. So we went, we got changed.
Into, I think we both had
we
like
both
black
had Iron
dresses.
Fist. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had like a black Wednesday Addams style dress, and you had an Iron Fist dress.
Yeah.
And we came in, and he wasn't really too keen on it. He was like, oh, do you have anything like colourful?
Do you have anything prettier?
And we were like, well, we can see. I think he took a couple of shots wearing those dresses as well.
Yeah. I mean, he did not go with the room, but it's what he wanted.
Yeah. So we went, and luckily there was a bunch of our models there, and one of them just happened to have like what did I have? I had like
You had like ponies on it, maybe?
yeah, it had like ponies or unicorns. It was still black, but most of it had like colourful ponies and stuff.
Pretty enough.
It was just like a little skater dress. And what did you have? Like just
I just had a plain black dress with white like crosses on it.
Yeah, and he was like, oh yeah, those are a bit better. And then he was like, oh, so just like pretend to like take the dresses off a little
he made
bit.
us do like the most horrendous striptease sequence.
Yeah.
He was like, just off the shoulder, and then he's like, no, this is too sexual. He kept saying everything was too sexual.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're in a fucking sex dungeon, mate.
Yeah. And he was like to us at one point, can you two get closer? Because
So we come in.
you know, like we're mates, so we're like that.
Too
And,
sexual.
Too sexual. Yeah, no. And we're like, oh, okay. We do that all the time. Like we're very like we're cool with each other's personal space. Like
Just a bit.
just you know, because we've worked together so often, it's cool. And he was like, no, it's too sexual. We're like, okay, so we're
It's not even
standing-
like I was like sticking my tongue in our ear or anything. We were just like hugging.
Yeah, and like,
The most disconcerting thing was he kept saying, can you guys smile like a school photo? So we were like
Yeah.
giving him kind of like mood, and he's like,
Yeah.
he wants to smile, so we're going.
I don't have a very attractive smile. Like, so I wasn't giving him teeth or anything because that's like even worse. So this was like the smile I was giving him. I was kind of like creeped out and awkward. So I was like,
Oh, Lucy is so, like, it's so obvious to tell when Lucy's nervous or, like, uncomfortable or getting creeper vibes. Whereas me, I'm just, like, we're just playing it cool, but Lucy's, like, we kept making eye contact, like...
yeah. It was, oh dear, it was bad. And,
It was at this point that we were, like, fuck. So Lucy was done. I could
yeah,
look at her and she was
I
done.
so done.
And he looked at me and he was like, have you got anything colourful? And I was like, yay, colourful for the sex dungeon so I can make school faces at you. So I bugger off to the changing room and have a wee rummage through my stuff.
Yeah.
And I have a Jake the Dog swimming costume for Adventure Time. It's just plastered in Jake the Dog faces for this red and black leathery room.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, do you know what? I'm done. So I put it on and I came back in and I was like, right, will this do? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And then he was like, okay, right, and we're back to the school faces, and he starts handing us these, like, props. He makes Lucy hold, like, pegs. And he's like, you need to hold it
clothes
perfect.
pegs.
You have to hold it vertical. Get your nails exactly in the right place.
Like that.
With a clothespin.
Yeah, and one of the first things that he made me hold earlier on in the thing, was, it's like a feather tickler, so it's
And
like...
a French tickler.
Yeah, so if you don't know what that is, it's like a little rod, and it's got little feathers on the end. Like, it's really cute, and it was purple, and it was adorable. I think it was glittery as well.
Yeah. It didn't go with the outfits either, but hey,
No.
he was paying.
So he was like, can you hold this? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, I think I was posing kind of like this, and I go and I, like, have it so it's coming out like that, and he's
no,
like...
must be
no,
vertical.
No, he was like, no, that's all wrong. So I'm like, And he's like, no, it has to be vertical. So I'm like, And he's like, no, bring it out a bit more. So I'm like that, and he's like, no, your hands are all wrong, it needs to be like that. So I'm holding this thing like this far out of me, like this.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Demonstrate the line.
Demonstrate. And it was really weird, and he kept getting us to do that with all the things. So I was holding like a clothes peg, and at one point he had me sitting in the mistress's chair, and I'm like trying to be sexy while also smiling like a schoolgirl. So I'm like,
oh, that's so bad. He made her read a fucking travel guide. She was sitting on this mistress chair and was like, can you read this about
this little travel photo guide from the Seychelles or some shit. So I'm like pretending to read this on this like black and purple mistress chair. It's so beautiful.
Schoolgirl smile and a travel guide.
It was so bad. And yeah, he was just like, he was really creepy, and I could see like his forehead was sweating, then he was balding.
He was breathing
so
from his
here
mouth,
was
like
sweating, mouth breather. He was like, I couldn't tell if like it was blurring the line between really awkward and uncomfortable and really sexually aroused. I couldn't tell which it was, but it was somewhere around that zone. And like it was so obvious, like he wasn't even hiding it. He was like breathing really heavily.
No.
And
once I brought out that Jake the dog swimming costume, like he was like, can you guys just lean over the bed? So we leaned over. And he was like, no, can you like bend over more? So we're like bending over more.
Yeah, and he starts off like over here, like to the side.
Oh wait.
And he's over to the side, like to our side, and then he moves like round, and he moves round. And then he's like, can you like bend over a little bit? And he's pretty much completely behind us. And you were done.
He was like, can you bend over and just spread your legs a little bit? I was like, done. Thank you for working with us. That was great. Like I had said beforehand that I don't do any sort of open leg stuff. And doesn't matter what your levels are. So even if you want to be like fully clothed in a burqa, like levels should be respected. And this guy was just like, can you just spread your legs for me? And it was just an absolute shit show. I felt like creeped on and uncomfortable.
And the funniest thing was he was like, with the little camera, and
oh my god, he just had a shitty like £60 camera and was like, I'm a photographer.
And it didn't work with any of the lights. Did it even have a hot shoe? I don't think it did.
No.
So it didn't.
You couldn't even put a trigger on it.
You couldn't put a trigger on it to work the lights. He had to borrow a photographer we know's camera to use the lights. It had this, like, it was that size, and it was just this tiny little, like, baby's first camera, and,
it's like he got it in Argos, like, 6 years ago.
It was bad, and at one point, he was, like, I think it was on the table, and you were like, oh, it would be really cute if I took a photo of this camera.
I thought it was a prop.
Like, it looked like a toy, and it wasn't.
Guy with a camera, utter creep.
Yeah. And I think something that kind of creeped me out was when we weren't using the props. He was like, his whole thing was, oh, the image has to tell a story. These cheap glamour images need to tell a story.
It's the story of two models slowly losing their minds.
Yeah. But his idea of telling a story was to have like a girl kind of posing schoolgirl smile, and then having like a random object either being held or like in the frame. And he was really particular about how they were like arranged, and at one point you were sitting on the bed and there was like a paddle, and he was trying to get it to like sit at a right angle. Well, not at a right angle, but at like...
He was trying to make it balance.
Yeah, he was trying to make it balance on this thing, and you moved and it fell, and it was like the world ended for him.
Oh my gosh, he was so angry at me.
Yeah, because
how dare you move?
Because he was trying to like balance it on like the edge, on like the really thin edge on this thing.
Jesus fucking wept.
Yeah, it was like, and everything like that wasn't being used had to be like perpendicular, or no, not like parallel to each other, and everything had to be like ooh, ooh, ooh. It was, oh no.
No, it was bad. And we would insert pictures from that shoot, but one, we are never going to get them, and if we do, they're never being shared, and two, it would give away who it was.
Yeah.
So
it was...
we could bloody try and recreate them. That'd be hilarious.
So bad.
So at the end, it was just me with the Jake the dog swimming costume. He's just like, hold this candle. I'm like,
and I've got a clothes peg.
Just ugly
like,
smiling like.
Yeah.
That was it. We were done.
Yeah,
We'd been creeped out, sliced upon, and just
Yeah.
generally had enough. So, yeah.
Yep.
No one died or anything, but...
No. I think, as a last bit, I think one of the funniest things was the fact that the guy that runs the studio and the other photographers there kept walking by the door every 5 minutes to make sure we were okay, because they were getting creeper vibes.
They could tell that we were very uncomfortable.
Like, every time we went to get changed, they were like, oh my god. And we found out after that he has been barred. Like, he's not coming back.
Yay! He got barred because he was, creepy.
Yeah. He was creeping at everyone. What did he say to you after? Like,
he left and then he came back in and he looked at me and he went, now that's something you should have worn to the shoot. In front of the studio owners and all the photographers and the owners of the agency.
It was
and
like,
all the models, and it was like a blatant attempt to try and, I don't know what he was trying to do, some sort of power trip. He clearly has to go home and jack off at a picture of himself or whatever it is that he does, but he does something weird and I want no part in it.
And it was weird because he wanted pretty dresses and then you were wearing like slouchy ass outfits because you didn't have anything to do for an hour or two. So you were wearing like joggies.
I
and
was
a
wearing my
t-shirt.
pyjama top and jeans that I had spilt my breakfast on that morning. Like, it was not something I would ever shoot in, and he's like, that's what you should have worn to shoot. And I'm like, aye, no bother, I'll just wear my pyjamas for a fucking sex dungeon. Oh.
Yeah, oh no. It was so bad.
No. Never again.
No.
But I done it with Lucy, so that made it slightly more bearable. If I was on my own, I wouldn't have knocked him out. That's not very professional, but he would have had, no, I'm not going to say that either. It's bad times. I would have walked out, for sure.
Yeah, like, I'm glad it was just an hour. It was,
oh my gosh.
It was the longest hour of my life.
I kept looking, because he asked me to bring my phone, he wanted me to play pros on my phone, and I just kept looking at my phone like, oh my god, I thought it'd been like 10, 15 minutes, it'd been like 2.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was our last Saturday. That was really bad.
So yeah, that was the worst photo shoot experience we ever had.
Worst / weirdest.
I think there's only one way to finish this video, and that is to hold something, like, in particular, and just give a little schoolgirl smile.